reassure the community that, hey, I'm not a no informant. I'm just doing crime prevention. They don't understand what is crime prevention.
Yeah, they
So
don't.
it's when I have to tell them, hey, I'm a football player. Oh, you play ball? Yeah, you know so and so. And then I would play
Yeah.
basketball with them at the court, to kind of mellow things up. And I remember my partner, she went to the police station. She said, John's not working. He's playing basketball with these people. And then the chief of police came and said, hey, John's doing the right thing. You're not here as a police. You're not a police person yet. You're not insured. If anything happens, you're just here for crime prevention. Get involved in the community. I'm like, wow, yeah. I'm like, you see, I was not crazy, but I had to do that to fit in. So then I would, do some activities, talk to the elders, and I developed a passion for people like that. Because again, I was normal in there because it was, again, I grew up in those kind of neighborhoods. So, and they loved me. They even ended up writing an article on me. And then again, the chief of police, hey, you should apply to be a police officer. My mom had nightmares. Oh, no, no, no. So my mom didn't want
Yeah.
me to become a police officer. But I'm saying all these things because, again, all these things brought me to find who I was. And then I remember I was in a committee in Little Burgundy. There was some shootings and stuff like drugs problems. And they had a meeting and a bunch of people, professionals, were sitting around the table. They had no clue what was going on. And they had never asked me to speak because I had no title. But I knew what was going on. So I'm like, you see, they don't give me because I had no credential. That was my biggest lesson. I said, I got to go finish my education. So that really opened my eyes. So that's when I left University of Montreal. I kind of decided to hang my cleats because I really wanted to, I found my passion to work with youth and give back in the community and create changes, make things better for others. I came to Ottawa. People were freaking out. They're like, you just quit football like that? The coach was calling me, are you sure you're doing that? And then, I was a starter, so I was on the team. Players are like, oh, you're letting us down. It was not easy. You know what I mean? It was not easy. But I felt the call in my heart. And then when I came here, the Ottawa U coach called me, hey, I heard you here. You want to play for us? So I went to the camp. I said, nah, it's not for me anymore. I really have to go and take school seriously. And that's when also I'm grateful for football because when I wanted to take school seriously, because I was focused and I made sure I was passing my courses, I was in a good situation academically to continue. So I went and I finished my sociology degree. And then from sociology, beautiful theories, but now I need to put in practice. So I went to social work, the bachelor in social work. Then I became, a social worker, but it was mostly community. I wanted to work in institution. For institution, you need a master. So I work for child protection worker and all of these things. And then I said, okay, I'm going to do my master. Did the master. When I was in institution, so I worked in carceral system. I worked in schools, elementary schools. I was teaching in the college program, social work. To realize that, whoa. I'm all over the place here. So when I wrote, I said, I gotta be loyal to my thesis because my thesis, and I have to talk about it in a second. My thesis was how a social worker can be recognized as a football coach can be recognized as a first responder for at-risk, a first-line responder for at-risk youth, academic and behavior. So how a football coach, we can use it to really intervene. So in my research, it was a semantic analysis where I gave an interview to a football program in Montreal that was doing very well, Les Loups de Antoine Labelle. They had that same philosophy to use football to better those kids. And I interviewed 4 of the players and I did a semantic analysis and I had to read books, I had to watch movies, analyze all the Hall of Fame speeches. And then to see that all of them, they were thankful about their high school coach. All of them. And then I watched Gridiron Gang. I watched all these movies, the program about football, on how football can be a positive impact. But of course, I had to be objective. I also had to talk about the negative impact as well. So that was my research. So for me, I sit down and I'm like, why don't, and then one of my colleagues said, oh, you're a good teacher. Why don't you just go to teachers college? It's the last year that it's 1 year. So if you got to do a shift, do it now. And I'm like, really? Should I? And I was thinking about it. I was teaching in college, so I'm teaching. I was a social worker. I was with Children's in Society, and I was a social worker in elementary school. So I'm like, and I was coaching football. But if I become a high school coach, I would. Then I went to teachers college, and I became a teacher football, and I stayed loyal to my thesis, and that's what I've been doing since. I teach. As a teacher, we all know we replace the parents. We spend so much time with those kids, and I live according to what I read and the research that I've read, and it says, and the results from my thesis, from my research, it's pretty. It's funny how the results sometimes could be something so simple, right? The result was you can be a first line responder if you're conscious of your role. So as a coach, you can become that kind of social worker if you're conscious that you can, and you use it accordingly. All these, strategies and stuff like that. So that's the way I coach. I coach, of course, all of my players, they come for football, but me, I come to make them better men, better citizens later on in society. So, so this is how I really ended up doing what I'm doing.
So this is what I'm trying to say at the beginning of this podcast. I was introducing. I mentioned how you had many hats. And quite the journey.
If you want to hear more stories, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like. To support more youth by youth led projects, visit us at youthspeak.ca, where you can donate and spread youth mental health awareness.
YouthSpeak Performance Charity. Speak, inspire, change.